One thing I hear a lot is TV is a bad marketing channel, or radio is a bad marketing channel, or Facebook is a bad marketing channel, Google is a bad. Look, there are no such thing as bad marketing channels. What there are is there are customer acquisition costs and there are lifetime values. And what I mean by that is lifetime value is how much am I going to earn on this particular customer over the life of the customer's time with me as a company. The customer acquisition cost is how much am I going to pay to acquire this particular customer. Now, fundamentally, those are the only two metrics that matter. So, in other words, it doesn't matter what is a good or bad marketing channel. What matters is what you, as a marketeer, as a brand, as a company, are able to acquire a customer for. So, in other words, if you're going to earn $100 to acquire a customer, and you can get them, if you're going to earn $100 to acquire, if you're going to earn $100 on a customer, and you're going to pay $10 to acquire them on TV, that means TV is a fucking great marketing channel. If you, on the other hand, are going to earn $100 on that customer and you're going to pay $200 on a TV advertising, then it's a horrible marketing channel for you, not for everyone, but for you. So stop thinking about it as good and bad marketing channels and start thinking about it as customer acquisition cost and lifetime values of that particular customer. Then you're going to look at it a lot more objectively. And by the way, and this is an important note, is that $200 that you're paying to acquire people on TV is not necessarily a fixed amount. That is a result of the platform that you have or the product that you have, how good your ad is, all these kind of other things. So you can imagine there are going to be good TV ads and there are going to be bad TV ads. So if you're paying $200 for a customer that earns you $100, the question that I would ask myself is there a way in the journey that I could have for this particular customer and the marketing material that I could provide to the TV station where I could be paying $50 for a $100 customer? So in other words, can I change the economics of this particular marketing channel? There are also people who say, well, Google is a bad marketing channel. Again, it's not that Google is good or bad marketing channel. It may either be that it's too expensive for your product and your category or the way that you operate your business, or simply that you're just not executing on that particular market channel well enough. So go back, look at your marketing channels and look at all marketing channels out there, because every marketing channel in my world is in play for you to get to the next level of your business. Okay, the problem with data-based marketing, not database, but data-based marketing, is that you optimize every single keyword individually, right? And that's right to do and it's wrong to do. And so why it's right to do is because you get the local optima of that particular keyword. So for example, if you have a keyword that is, I want to borrow money for a Ferrari, you then optimize your ad text and you're bidding around that. The problem that can happen sometimes in that is you micro-optimize every keyword without thinking about consistency across your communication. So what I mean by that is if you micro-optimize every single ad that you have, you're going to get a worse result than if you macro-optimized everything together. Okay? So what I mean...
I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm just...
So what I mean...
Studies on that?
Sure. The biggest study I just think is brands in general. What do brands come from? Brand comes from consistency and communication, right? You're no doubt what is Nike. Like, if I do this, right, it's either a banana or it's Nike, right? And when I draw it, it looks like a banana, but normally it probably means Nike, right? So there's no doubt about it. What color should there be? There's probably black here, right? And white logo, probably even reverse, but that's it. Nike doesn't go out and say, well, here we're targeting somebody, we're doing it completely differently. They might put it contextually differently, but there's always a consistency in the brand. So the question is just this, how does everyone, if they see us on a bus, right? And we have an ad here on the side, or it's on a website on Facebook and we have an ad, or it's a Google text link, how do we make sure that we get at the end of this, the frequency? Because frequency, number of times somebody sees you, conversion rate, there is an element of number of times that somebody has to see an ad for the ad to work. That's what creates recall and what creates brand.
McDonald's, they know how to get the most out of their people because they know that one of their biggest costs are people, real estate, people, food. And so it was a place where I always say that if you're putting something down with one hand, you had to pick something else up with the other hand, right? That's how efficient it was. And they know how to measure, and they know that if the restaurant isn't busy, they'll send home their people and stuff. So I learned a tremendous amount there, and it's fascinating how you can have an organization that are as global as McDonald's are, and yet they will deliver the same quality of product everywhere in the world. So I'll give you a fascinating thing that I realized the other day. I was flying on an airplane, so I was flying London to, I think it was Hong Kong, and on the way there, I was super warm, I didn't need my blanket, I could sit there in my t-shirt, all those things, flying overnight there. On the way back, flying overnight, It was super cold. I had to have my jacket on. I asked for an extra blanket, everything. So I went on the trip back because I thought it was way too cold, and I asked them, I said, look, what's the standard temperature for the airline? And they don't have one. So that means every single person who's working that day decides on how warm or cold it should be. But like, what a crap branding experience. Imagine every person who goes into McDonald's decides how the McDonald's burger is made, right? You know, it's the same turning up and down volume. Like how it's either too low in an airplane, you can't hear what people are saying, or it's very high. I like what somebody said the other day. He said, you know, Julian Treasure said to me, it was very funny, he said, they spend like $1 billion in an airplane, and then they buy like the worst equipment for the audio, right? Like you can never understand and hear what the person is saying. So what I loved about it was, by getting standardization, it's not about stopping at standardization, it's about starting to innovate from standardization. Yeah. So, but by having a standardized approach and then having segments of your execution that then innovates and tries off different things, fine to try, but let's agree on how we get to 95%. And then let's get from 95 to 100% by a bunch of trials and innovations around that. Yeah. So it's good that every airline, like every plane tries different things, but let's just agree on what's best practices first. Exactly. And I think it's about figuring that out as a business across the board, not just for your temperature, how you answer your phone call, how you do your marketing, how you fly your airplanes, whatever it is. Exactly. That's what I mean by McDonaldizing things.